I'm Mike Duggan, and I'm proud to be mayor of the great city of Detroit. When I took office on January 1st, 2014, Detroit was under control of a non-elected official, undemocratically appointed by Governor Snyder. Detroit needed a strong, experienced leader that could convince the state government that democratic control could and should be returned to the people of Detroit. From the 8 years before that, I spent restructuring the DMC, navigating it away from bankruptcy. I knew that I had that experience, and Detroit knew that I had that experience as well. I promised that we would build such a powerful plan to turn the city's finances around that Governor Snyder would be convinced that Detroit didn't need 5 years of emergency management. I delivered on my promise to the people of Detroit. By September 2014, control of the city was returned to its democratically elected officials. In that campaign, I promised every neighborhood has a future. I promised that we would rebuild the city's economics by collecting the hundreds of millions of dollars that we were missing in income taxes, property taxes, and fines. I promised that we would decrease the violence, turn on the streetlights, demolish our abandoned buildings, and balance our city's budgets. I have delivered on all of those promises from 4 years ago. When I took office in 2014, many nights there were only 8 staffed ambulances in the city. Half of the city's streetlights were never on. Half of the city's bus fleet was perpetually in the garages gathering dust, waiting for repairs, instead of where they should have been on their routes throughout Detroit. All of the city's parks had been closed. We were losing money through broken bus fare boxes and dilapidated parking meters. I heard a story from a student at Wayne State who bused to her summer classes every day. She told me that one of the buses she took, the Woodward bus, one of the busiest and most reliable of the DDOT routes, was consistently behind schedule. She told me of one hot summer day where she waited more than 2 hours for a bus, which was supposed to arrive every 15 minutes. In fact, as she stood there, 6 months pregnant, 3 buses passed her without stopping, too full to take on any more passengers. That is the impact of having only 50% of your fleet on the road. Today, I'm glad to announce that 100% of DDOT's buses are on the routes every day, and we've even expanded our routes. In fact, as a result of the efforts of my governing team, we have turned on all of 65,000 of Detroit's streetlights, opened all 270 parks, cut emergency response times in half, demolished 11,000 vacant buildings, and we have updated our parking system to a modern, fully functioning, and enforced system where people can pay from their phones, and the city can collect the revenue that we need. And we still have balanced the budget all 3 years under my leadership. Over the next 4 years, I promise to expand Detroit at Work program, where we have offered paid training for jobs that city employers are currently looking for, connecting employers in the city of Detroit with qualified Detroit resident applicants. We will expand our effort to identify prisoners 6 months away from their release, setting them up with training programs so they can succeed when they enter back into our society. Training programs for jobs that require certification like lead removal, asbestos removal, and high-low operators. We have already signed agreements with plumbers and carpenter unions, encouraging them to recruit in Detroit. They've agreed to that 25% of their future apprenticeships for the next 10 years will be Detroit residents. We will work to expand our connections with trade unions and collaborate with them to expand the opportunities for Detroiters for sustainable employment. We will work to expand our programs to help those who will form Detroit's future. 8,000 youth got summer jobs last year from our Grow Young Talent program. We will work with businesses to turn those internships into real full employment opportunities. And we have just implemented the Detroit Promise, 4 years of college education paid for if you graduate from a Detroit public high school. We've made incredible progress, but Detroit still has a long way to go. This campaign is about making Detroit a place where families want to build their future. We need to improve public safety. We're currently graduating 30 police officers a month, but we need to keep adding quality officers so that all of our neighborhoods feel secure. We need good public schools. I will fight the closing of Detroit public schools and will work with our education board to improve students' learning conditions. I'm ready to build a Detroit for families. Are you with me? Let's build Detroit's future together.